It's gold, baby. Found not too far from the Oroville Dam. This nugget weighing in at 5 pounds. If you know the history of this area, which is Oroville, or standing for gold, Ville standing for city or community. So this is the city of gold, Oroville. If you know the history of it, back in 1849, the 49ers found a mother lode. There were these nuggets laying this size, the size of apples and bigger, laying all over the ground at the foothills where this gentleman found this nugget at. They were everywhere. You could just walk around and pick them up. So this area has a major amount of gold still hidden in the foothills and different places, and in the mountains, of course. And any place where water gathers over the years, the nuggets will roll down the troughs and the trenches and the streams, and then they end up at the deepest point. Where's the deepest point? At the dam. So, when I'm looking at scenarios, trying to figure out why anyone would possibly, if there would be motivation for this dam to come down, it may be time to cash in on the gold. Now, they've already cashed in a little bit. As you can see here, the slough, when they washed off the side of that mountain with all that water coming down it, all the large gold and small gold nuggets, especially the large ones that would have been in that hillside, would have fallen off right down at the base. As you see all those all that soil and rocks and everything there, it would have fallen there and stayed there, and the lighter things such as dirt and water, of course, would have flowed on downstream. Although I can't say that positively, I think this is when it was brought in. Now, with that being said, did you happen to notice, strangely, how prepared they were for this event? I mean, they had assets ready to roll. It's like they had them standing by, that they knew that this was going to happen. Now, obviously, they knew various aspects of it, but they didn't supposed to have known that the spillway was going to have a fracture, and then that water was going to come down the side of that mountain and wash all that area off like it did and produce all those gold nuggets, unless it was rigged to do so. Now, if they wanted it to fail, so that way they would have a reason to mine using water flow the entire side of this hill to get all the gold out of it, because there's a lot of money here. You just don't want to throw that away, even though you got some bigger agenda gold that's going along with what you may be doing. You still got to stop for a minute and pick up the cakes, you know. So they had tons of equipment, all staged. Seems like, I mean, they were on. I mean, they had helicopters. They had tons of cement trucks. They had everything you can imagine on site and functioning within a day or two at the most when this event started unfolding back in February. You recall? This all started on February the 11th, and it weren't no time when there was a friggin' army of people out there working. You just don't normally see that, okay? We're not that well prepared. You can't have all that equipment sitting on go. You have to stage it in order for it to work, right? Well, what was their number one goal, it seemed? I mean, what were the main things that it appeared that they were accomplishing really fast? They accomplished really fast cleaning up below the dam. As you can see in this photo, this is looking down the spillway, and down there is that's the Feather River. And you look at the soil, and man, it even looks like gold. um, it's because there's a lot of gold in it, probably, but ain't no probably to it. Actually, there's a lot of gold in there, but that obviously was a huge thing for them, was collecting all that uh, soil and rocks and gold. I'm going to continue with this line of thought, and I'm going to show you some additional things that they're clearly doing that demonstrates that this is a mining operation that's going on here, among other things. But this is a mining operation, and I'm going to show you um, the proof of that if you haven't seen enough already. But I wanted to show you this photo because it gives you an idea as to the scale, because when you look at these other photos, you think, this doesn't really look like that huge of a place. But when you can see the vehicles parked on that spillway, it gives you a whole new perspective as to, how much soil we're talking about. This here is a shot of the river bed. This is down in where the water was rushing through. This is the area that they wanted to clean out. You can see the massive amount of heavy equipment and personnel that is there. Now keep in mind, this area was never declared a federal disaster area. So therefore, somebody's paying for this. This ain't coming out of federal funding money. This is coming out of the city's pocket. And I guess Oroville just happens to have millions and millions of dollars to throw at cleaning this up. No, they don't. But they know that they are going to cash in on millions and millions and millions of dollars on cleaning up this stuff that ran off the side of that mountain, because there's gold in them here, their hills, and they're cleaning it up. And as you can see, this is more and more looking like a staged event, with collecting the gold as one of the goals. Now, this is only the first half of the collection, actually the first tenth of the collection. When they can get behind that dam, get that water out of there, get down at the root of that dam and do the cleanup, kind of like at the bottom of the Twin Towers, there was gold down there. When they get down there and do that cleanup, they hit the honeypot, and that's behind this dam. But the dam's got to go away. But we're just going to clean up the front half as we're waiting on the process of the rollout of this dam going away one day. Now, as you can see by the article there in front of you, there is evidence that monies that should have come to this dam, federal monies that was given out to, well, according to this article, $34 billion was handed out to the state of California for various things. One of which, $22 million, went to the Folsom Dam to do repairs and upkeep and modernization and such, and $0 went to the Oroville Dam. So you give $0 to the dam that actually needs work done, and according to this article, the Folsom Dam was actually in good shape when it received its award back in 2009 of $22 million. So strangely, we've ignored this dam like as if it was something we were going to tear down later. Now, is there any evidence that they're still continuing a mining operation on the front side of this to get more gold out of it? Yes, there is. So what is this guy doing? He's drilling a hole. Drilling a hole into this. What's he drilling a hole into? Oh, the side of the mountain. Oh, and he's drilling a bunch of holes to, looks like to, oh, they're going to dynamite it. Oh, and here's one of the holes. They're going to dynamite the rest of the side of the mountain. Now, can anybody come up with, for me, a reason why this was a good idea? the reason why it makes sense to dynamite the side of a mountain that happens to be holding back a gajillion gallons of water. I understand it's controlled amount of explosives, and you ain't gonna take the whole mountain down. But you're trying to reinforce this thing so it don't fail. You're not tearing it down. Now you could say, well, as a matter of fact, what they said is that they were dynamiting a really high area that was sticking up, that was 150 feet above the spillway. Well, when you go and check the photos of where they're at and where they're doing this, it ain't nowhere near the spillway. They're drilling down, way down in and going into the bedrock, and they're blowing it up. Because why? Because there's gold in them there hills.
The Feather River is finally going down, and underneath it all, a golden opportunity. Weeks of raging waters have stirred up mineral deposits in the riverbed, and as ABC 10's John Bartel shows us, people are flocking to the river, hoping to strike it rich.
Floodwaters removed a lot of dirt and rock from the failed spillway at Oroville Dam. And right now, construction crews are working to fill the gaping hole with new dirt. But downstream, novice prospectors are interested in the dam's old dirt.
That's Pete Roa, and my name's Wally Seidenglance.
Water levels in the Feather River dropped significantly after the dam's floodgates were closed.
See the water line behind us up there on the bank?
Yep.
And this is giving Pete and Wally a chance to see what the raging waters turned up.
There's areas of dirt that have been disturbed that haven't been disturbed in years.
On camera, these prospectors have a lot of confidence, but by no means are these guys experts.
Yeah, but that's fool's gold.
Pete and Wally aren't the only amateur miners with gold fever.
It's been exciting. It's been chaos.
Oftentimes, when rumors of gold surface, the first person to strike it rich is the one selling the tools.
All walks of life like to find gold.
And that's the case for adventures in prospecting. This is the first stop for many new gold diggers.
This is Oroville up here, and all these yellow dots represent at least $1 million in gold strikes.
Joey Wilson can offer tips, tools, and location. But finding the gold is really up to the prospector.
Definitely not easy money.
No.
On the Feather River, John Bartel, ABC 10 News.
So now you know more of the story as to really what's going on in Goldville, California. Is there more information, more evidence, you might say, that would indicate that something fishy or something golden might be going on there? There is, but you're going to have to wait. In a follow-up video that I'm pulling together, I will go into that with you. It's a bit more esoteric, a bit more deep, you might say. But to give you a little hint, you're looking at the $50 bill. If you're not familiar with money being folded and showing events that will happen in the future, or older money showing events that actually happened in our past, well, that's the way it works in this country. We've got a group of elites that rule this country and rule this planet, and they are highly strange individuals, and not just strange, they're diabolical. And they never do anything without the prospect of making money from it, and without the prospect of tying it somehow to a spiritual event, such as in this case, in this scenario, with the dam bursting. The dam will burst on a specific day that is tied to an alignment of the stars, even a special day that has to do with the breaking of the water of the Virgin. And I'll get more into that on the next video. And until then, if you're new to this channel, subscribe for more logic before authority. grant us the power to crush the things that we think we cannot change, the courage to face any enemy of God we encounter, and the wisdom to fight every fight in your name.